Hello. This week's episode is Death Ship, and it's a heavy sci-fi episode, which means there is a lot to talk about. It starts off talking about how the far future of 1997 we are essentially probing the galaxy for habitable planets to migrate to. Bit optimistic, perhaps, but I mean that's what science fiction is for. Then this episode starts Jack Klugman, who was in Passage for a Trumpet and a game Pool, and also comes in later in Praise for Pip. He also stars in Outer Limits. Ross Martin is in The Four of Us Are Dying. And the third crewman is also in The Outer Limits, so there's a bit of crossover between these, of course. The spaceship, of course, is from Forbidden Planet. We've seen it before, actually. The crashed spaceship is just a hyper-realistic painting, which is very well done, I think. They've matched it very well to the prop that they enter. And it just looks really, really nice. It's well done. So, these shirts that the crews are wearing, it's in a later episode as well in this season, but it actually came up on auction a while ago, and it sold for like $1,600. Just a shirt with the weird little shoulder things and a little emblem. I think it's nice that someone is collecting this stuff. When the sort of gangway comes down, it's supposed to be supported by these two struts on the front, right? That's what lowers it to the ground. But if you have a look, these wobble because they aren't actually attached to anything. They're just there to look nice. They could have put a stick there and made it more stable, but oh well, that's what happens. Before they exit, though, one of the crewmen goes, "I'll check the atmosphere," and he starts fiddling with some dials. And that reminds me so much of Galaxy Quest, in which one of the crewmen goes, "Is there air? You don't know?" Because a lot of the sci-fi just assumes that everyone speaks English and that there's always air and that all the plants are edible. Now they actually mention that plants could be poisonous, so we at least they've thought about it. When Ross Martin's character rolls over his own sort of dead body thing, it's a nice cut. I mean, you can definitely see it happening when there's a face reveal of him showing him, and then the camera pans up and you see his own face. There's a cut there. It's fairly well visible, but it's nice. Every other such when both of the faces are on screen at the same time, it's just a split screen. You can see sort of the shadow line. That's the split in the screen that they worked with. I think it works really quite well. It's a shame that both of those shots are the same. Like the dead person is in dark and the live person is in light. But I mean, they made it work, so it's fun, right? Now, in the very final shot before they leave the spaceship, the captain is actually moving. You can see his mouth move. I think he's just straining like this, and he did that. I think they also made a bit of a mistake on the pan shot of the dead inside. I haven't done it side by side, but I think they moved between those takes. So I think the arm has shifted a bit. The future isn't very readily visible. I mean, yes, the weird little shoulder things are futuristic. The fact that they have shiny, I'm guessing, golden boots is, of course, very futuristic. But in the vision that the lieutenant has of his dead wife and daughter, they have very futuristic looking dresses. So that's important. So we can see that at least. The seats that they sit in the spaceship have this sort of formed hollow for them to sit back in. It's a foam cushion. And while this is tailor-made, there are gaps between it and the seat, which makes it look kind of hokey. I'm not sure how expensive that could have been to remake, to make it actually fit the seat. But, oh well, that's what it looks like. It has some lovely G-force faces when they ascend into the heavens of just these actors trying to make themselves look as if they're under a tremendous G-force strain. And then, of course, you have the lovely Star Trek acting. Now, this looks really quite good when you have a tilted screen, but I'm going to untilt it, and you'll see what that looks like straight. And of course, if you do that to the original Star Trek, you can see the same thing with people sort of running back and forth on screen, banging into things. Because they couldn't tilt the actual set. So that's just what happened. The second landing is just, I mean, when they take off, it's really quite well done. It has a little fireworks that sort of propels them. You can't see the strings. And when it lands, it's also very beautifully made. It descends nicely. You don't see the strings. It's a very nicely done shot. I was very impressed by it. And then the final sort of reference to the Flying Dutchman. We've had a few of that before, the Flying Dutchman. It's a sort of common theme to the Twilight Zone of talking about, you know, the ever lost and unable to find their way back and stuff like that. So it comes back. Next week's episode is Witchcraft with Jezebel. And I look forward to bewitching and seeing you then. Take care now. Bye.